Guys, I'm here. It looked like I couldn't make it in time, but sometimes you just need to make the impossible possible. Get to know more people doing exactly that in our show tonight. Hello and welcome to another episode of Nitro Nights with me, Stefanie. As virtual racers with disabilities are the current special week topic on Overtake, we will discuss it in this show as well. Of course. For this, we will welcome Max Spooner, team manager of eTeam BRIT, which is probably the biggest esports racing team for disabled gamers out there. He will also take on the hot lap, and of course, our Newsflash will return too. But get to know our guest a little bit better with this video here.
Max Spooner is eTeam BRIT's manager, a British sim racing team dedicated to disabled drivers. The 27-year-old was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome in 2004, just before he started senior school. 4 years later, he discovered his passion for sim racing with R-Factor 1. And from there, his passion has only grown. Loving the R-Factor series and switching over to R-Factor 2, he joined eTeam BRIT in 2019. He thus discovered iRacing and soon learned to love that too. But Max isn't just a virtual tarmac racer. He's also shown his talent in a real car in the 750 Motor Club Low Cost Championship. With a manager like him, we can all look forward to seeing what eTeam BRIT is going to bring us next.
With that kind of passion for motorsport in every kind, I have no doubt about that. And now he is here with us in the show. Welcome to Nitro Nights, Max.
Hi there, thanks for having me. How are we doing?
I'm doing great today. When eTeam BRIT was founded last year, would you have thought that you might be the manager by now? How did you find your way into it?
It was from a Facebook post. I knew of Team Brit before, and Dave, who runs the team for many years, and I saw that eTeam BRIT was being started up, so I applied and basically gave it the spiel. I've been sim racing a very long time and I feel I've got something to offer. So joined as a driver back in the summer of 2019, and then the opportunity came up back in April last year to become the team manager, and went from there really, and we've just been going from strength to strength since.
That's so funny. It all started with a Facebook post.
It's the way of the modern world now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. So is managing eTeam BRIT for you a full-time activity, or do you have another job too?
So I do run another job as well. I'm a product specialist in a Volvo dealer during the day. So I'm basically the techie know-it-all when it comes to helping people with their cars, getting them set up so that they all work. And then when customers go, how does that work? I don't know. I'm there to help them. But I do have a good team around me, which means that, eTeam BRIT in itself is a full-time operation, but there's good people around me who help make it that much easier. But a lot of my evenings, days off, weekends, they're pretty much taken up running the team. Yeah, and I believe it also does a lot with the team spirit when you have a great team around you, right? 100%. I'm surrounded by good people. Alex Goldschmidt does all my social media, Bobby Trundley, Andy Tucker, my driver coaches, James Hall. Yeah. He helps me with a lot of the admin side, getting the guys practicing, getting all the setups dialed in. So those guys are a big help. And then I've got the wider Team Brit as well. So I've got Lucy, who does all of our PR. I've got Mike, who helps us on the commercial side, and Dave Player, who's our CEO, who's been a fantastic mentor to me as well. Great.
What are the specific challenges for racers from the autistic spectrum? What are difficulties you have to deal with during a race?
So I mean, being on the autistic spectrum, our minds work very differently to that of, say, what we would refer to as neurotypical, somebody who would think in a more traditional way. So it does mean we can be very, very focused on the task in hand, which when you're doing endurance racing is great, because, you know, you stick a autistic driver in the car for 2 hours and it will just bang the laps in no problem. I think the issues come from when things aren't quite always going to plan, as things always do in motorsport, and how we can cope with those challenges. Some drivers can particularly have like overload. I always think of the brain as like an engine. So for a normal person, you know, the engine will be ticking over at idle at 500 to 1,000 revs. For the autistic mind, it's like idling at 4,000 or 5,000 RPM. So when you have a lot going on in your head, for an autistic person, it can become too much very quickly. And so for some of our drivers, you know, if something goes wrong, it's trying to keep them calm, keep them focused, try to stop them having that breakdown, and just really just try and keep them focused on the race for the benefit of the whole team, really. So that can prove a challenge.
Yeah, I cannot imagine these challenges, but is there also any training about that, and is it successful for you too?
I think for autism, when I was growing up, it was still a very unknown thing. So people knew about it, but only sort of like high-end professionals who were expertise in autism really understood it. So as I grew up and as time moved on, autism became more well-known. And so people have a better understanding and know how to approach people with autism. But being a spectrum, you can have people who are on the high functioning end, people like myself, and then you've got people lower down on the spectrum who may not be able to function and cope in the same way. And, you know, with the team, we do have people up and down the spectrum. So there are some drivers who you can trust and leave to do their own thing, and some require a little bit of assistance, a little bit of guidance to get the most out of them and to really integrate them into the team. But I think by us all having our own disabilities, our own problems, we become a more understanding team as a result, to give a more comfortable environment for those people to thrive in.
Yeah. Let's, Max, let's step back a little from the virtual world right now. You have also participated in real-world motorsport competitions. What made you take a break from it?
So I was racing in the 750 Motor Club Low Cost Championship with a car that me and my dad built. It was ropey at best, and you know, there were times when the car would try to kill me, and there were times my dad would inadvertently try to kill me. The thought of brake failure at Stetson sort of comes to mind, and setting a 12-minute lap time was quite an interesting one. And going to the grid in the race, and the clerk of the course saying, "Have you fixed your brakes?" Don't know. We'll find out when we get to turn one. So that was interesting. But we had a lot of floods back in 2014, so the car was submerged, totally underwater, and so there was an insurance payout, and it was a case: do I go back racing, or I had the opportunity to start my own business? So I went down that road and sort of pursued motorsport in a different way. But the car, you know, albeit in bits, it's still at the bottom of my garden. And when the time's right, we'll look to go racing again.
Oh yeah. I would be happy to hear that news from you, Max. We are already ready for our quickfire round. Are you ready for it?
I was gonna say just limber up for it.
Okay, I'll do that too. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Little stretching is always a good thing. Okay.
Yeah. Bit of a shake.
Okay.
Okay. Let's do this.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
First question: your favorite driver?
Lewis Hamilton.
Oof. Favorite racing game?
R-Factor 2.
Oh, that's so quick. Favorite car?
it's like picking children. Nissan GTR.
The most important thing as a driver to be successful?
Consistency.
Your personal hero regarding inclusion in motorsport?
Oh, I'm going to say, I think you have to take off my cap to my boss, Dave Player.
That's a good one. That was already the last one. The first one, they were really, really quick. So you took it really seriously, our quick fire rounds. And really, really good answers. Okay, so we have talked a little about yourself, but now let's have a deep dive look into eTeam BRIT.
Disabled participants into mainstream competitions is the racing organisation Team Brit. It consists entirely of disabled drivers and provides them with all the setup they need to properly control their cars. This enables them to compete normally against non-disabled opponents.
But to come as far as I have and obviously achieve a podium in my first ever Brit car race in an Aston Martin GT4 car, I never would have dreamed of it.
The same technology is used for their esports division eTeam BRIT. It mainly competes in iRacing or endurance events, but their drivers also take on private leagues and individual challenges. The newly elected team manager Max Spooner is himself a driver. eTeam BRIT doesn't only want to give determined disabled sim racers a platform to compete. The ultimate goal is to also find candidates suitable for real-world racing. In addition, eTeam BRIT is always trying to find new solutions for interested people with disabilities that haven't yet been addressed. In future, they also want to explore other platforms beyond iRacing. First steps have been made in Assetto Corsa Competizione. Every passionate and determined sim racer who's interested can reach out to the team via Discord. Team Brit proves obstacles can be overcome.
We all should be grateful for organizations like this to exist. So let's talk a little bit more about Team Brit. Max, eTeam Brit shall give disabled drivers or sim racers the chance to get in touch with competition and also functions as sort of an academy program for Team Brit. Do the reality pilots also join eTeam Brit sometimes?
They do.
Really?
As I mentioned before, Andy Tucker and Bobby Trundley. Andy raced in the BMW 116 in the Brit Car Trophy this year, and Bobby raced in the Aston Martin GT4. And they join us for many events, and they work with my drivers on a daily basis. You know, so we are very much heavily involved with the main team, which was one of the things that we really wanted to make possible, is to have that cohesion. And when you've got someone of Bobby's caliber in the team, you know, the boys learn so much from him, and he's a real motivation, especially when he's sort of like driving through the field at sort of like 1-2 seconds a lap quicker than the cars ahead of him, and you're just watching us climbing the leaderboard. It's just so much. It's so fun to watch.
Yeah. We talked about this before the video, but I want to ask you again, because I read that you said that you want to become a reality pilot yourself this year. So what are your plans in detail?
Well, to get back into real racing, you need money, and I think any racing driver can relate to that plight. But yeah, it would be a dream to actually be able to be lining up on the grid in a Team Brit car one day. But you know, my focus at the moment is firmly on eTeam Brit and growing that as an organisation and pushing boundaries and seeing what we can do in the esports world.
Yeah. And I would also love to see you in the future as a reality pilot. What are the conditions to become a member of eTeam Brit? Are there any?
Really, it's a case of a lot of the drivers who join us have sim racing setups at home. and it's a case they want to really develop as drivers and work with like-minded people. So if you are a disabled driver, you've got a setup, or you are very much in the advanced stages of getting your own setup, we can help sort of give guidance in what equipment would be required. We develop our own technologies in-house to assist certain drivers as well, so you can buy those systems. We've got a hand control system which uses paddles on the back of the wheel for the throttle and the brake, and then they have separate buttons or paddles as well to allow for gear changes. So the idea is that a driver who may not have use of their legs can drive with us and suffer no disadvantage. We've had it before where we've actually gone to real world events to do our racing, and we'll have a driver in a wheelchair who's used the hand controls, and then he will hop out, and without changing anything on the rig, an able-bodied driver will get in and drive the car as if it were a normal simulator. So that's what we try to do. We try to come up with technology that allows that disabled person to participate as part of the team without any difficulty, any adaptation that limits their ability behind the wheel.
Yeah, the support is so huge. That's so cool. Is there a monthly fee also?
So no. So to race with us, there is no monthly fee to compete with us. Obviously, sim racing, there are costs involved, but the drivers are able to manage the costs themselves. So whether that be content or subscription fees to the likes of iRacing, that they're normally covered by our drivers.
Okay, so if you want to become a member, you just go to the website or contact you via socials, or what do I have to do?
Yeah, so they could go to our website, they can go to the Facebook, the Instagram, we have various means to get in contact with ourselves. And of course, I have my socials as well, so they can always come and reach out to me also.
Great. With Every Lap Counts, sim racing YouTuber simracing604 has promoted a Assetto Corsa Competizione League. It's only for disabled sim racers. So what you also often hear is that disabled gamers don't want their own leagues, but rather compete with everyone else. Are leagues like these a help nonetheless? What would you say? Or would you say they might even drive exclusion?
It's a tricky one, and I think the W series were doing a bit of soul searching in a very similar way a couple of years ago. I think for us as a team, we want to race with able-bodied drivers in traditional championship and events, and the way we will do that is we will adapt our equipment to allow us to do that. I admire anybody who wants to get disabled people more into sim racing, and if this is a way in for people to start their sim racing journey, then great. And if we can help them on that path to maybe then transition into more mainstream competition, then I'm all for it. So, but getting disabled people into sim rigs can only be a good thing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think the whole world has a lot of hope for this year after last year. But for you personally, Max, what are your goals for this year and beyond?
I think for the team, obviously, we want to be racing in the biggest events with the best teams and the best drivers. But for me, I want to work with the OEMs, with the game developers, maybe even the FIA as well, because I really want to push accessibility in esports, whether that be developing new technologies so that different kinds of disability can work with them to find solutions that will allow them to compete and be competitive, as well as maybe working with the governing bodies, the OEM, the people who make the wheels, the pedals, the chassis that we all use to do our competition in. working with them, and also with drivers and teams, and finding ways that we can help them with their accessibility. You know, we really want to be the voice of disabled sim racing, and you know, we'll do whatever we can do to help people get into the sport that we all know and love.
Yeah. Oh, Max, I could talk to you for hours and hours, but unfortunately, our talk is over for today. But fortunately, you gave us also a written interview for our virtual racers with Disabilities Week on Overtake. It's on overtake.gg, featuring many, many more interesting details and informations about you and eTeam BRIT. So friends, in front of the screen, take a look at it. It's a really, really cool interview. So Max, let's take a look at the socials right now. Let's have a look what happened last week on Twitter in our social showroom. So on Twitter, we asked you guys to name the best racing game of all time, but wrong answers only. So we got some interesting answers here. For example, 3D horse racing simulator. Yeah, but
yes.
Well, yes. A big yes from Max.
I'm downloading that now as we speak.
That's great. I would love to see you playing this game. But also, Dirt answered to our little tweet with their April Fools from last year, which is Dirt Rollers. But to be honest, we would love to see this game. Codemasters, please. Maybe
I'd be a world champion. I'd be a world champion at that quite convincingly.
Mark your words. So also on Twitter, we asked you guys to describe your driving style using a GIF. So most of the things that we got were like rather action-packed GIFs that we saw as answers, like this one here. Love that one. But we also had one clever user out there with a little plot twist that he had in mind. Also not bad. It's also not bad.
Well.
Max, how would you describe your driving style? Is it more aggressive or more conservative?
I'd probably say I'm more on the conservative side. I'm a true believer of mechanical sympathy. You want to get to the end of the race, so and to finish first you have to finish. So yeah, I'm certainly like to think I'm a smooth driver. A lot of other people have commented on my smooth style.
Okay. And you can also prove it in our Trackmania Hot Lap later. So speaking of driving styles, last time Fragstube was on air for our stream team. He pulled off his clean and textbook overtake. For more racing action, guys, be sure to catch up with our stream team every Wednesday. Follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/overtake_GG to be notified.
Jawohl.
Have you ever thought about streaming yourself, Max?
Watch this space. I think it's something that's we're gonna kick off this year for sure. I mean, some of my drivers already do.
Yeah.
James, one of my drivers, he's already streaming. So I think more of us are going to get into it. Bobby as well. He's already said he wants to get into streaming. So we got the setup. We've just got to put it all together now.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, that's great. I would love to see you in a stream. I will definitely watch it. So, yeah, let's enter our competition, Max. Are you ready for the Trackmania Hot Lap? A little stretching again, maybe?
I was gonna say, it's gonna need a bit more than stretching. I think it's gonna need a full workout before we take this one on.
All right. Okay, so then let's go to the Trackmania Hot Lap. Max Spooner is just done with his warm-up workout. Just 10 little burpees, you just said, right, Max?
Yeah, and 50 kilo deadlift.
Okay, yeah.
It's very important, those bits.
Yeah, that should do. So now you have 3 minutes in our Trackmania Hot Lap to give us your best time. So when you are ready, we are ready.
Okay.
Okay, so
let's
then
do this.
Let's go. Now we will see if Max is more of a conservative driver or aggressive driver. Did you practice before, Max?
I had a brief look at... no, that didn't go right. I'll come again.
Looking good, looking good. Yes, yes, yes. Yes! Oh, almost,
no.
almost. You can do it, you can do it.
Thinking I need to put in a banker, and I'm not even doing that so far.
Yes, that should do. Yes, he got it.
There we go. Now we're making progress.
Yeah. Looks really, really good. That's a really fast one. But if you want to beat our first place, which is Emily Jones, you need to hit, well, under 50 seconds, I would say.
Oh, that's not going to happen.
But looking good. Well, for sure you can beat me because I'm on place 14, so that's easy. Great. I think you can do a second round again after this one. Yes, 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 you can do a second one.
We got time. Let's do this. Let's do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Go, go, go.
Right now you would be P9. But I'm really sure you can beat that.
Come on.
Really, really good. Nice one. I was just thinking, because we were talking in the social showroom about 3D horse racer simulator.
Horse racing, yeah.
Horse racing. I would say you could also do it really, really good.
Well, I've ridden horses for about 18 years, and I think it's easier than this.
Yes. I think another one is not possible. Yeah, because we only have 30 seconds left, unless you can do it in 30 seconds. But I don't think so.
I don't think I'm that good. We will try in vain nonetheless. No.
All right, you are P9, Max. That's a really good one.
Top 10. I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Who have I beaten?
That's good. That's really, really good. I just remember when I was doing the Trackmania Hot Lap, it's really, really hard and a lot of pressure. So P9 is really, really great.
I did disgrace myself too much.
Max, it was so nice having you in the show and talk about this interesting and also important topic. Thank you so much. Is there anything you want to introduce to us or add before you leave?
Yeah, if there's anybody out there who thinks I've got a disability, but I don't know if I could do sim racing, talk to us. You could, we can try and find ways to get you involved. Whether that be we bring you down to our workshop and we get you in our simulator and see what you can do, or if we can help with the technology required. But also anybody who wants to get involved with eTeam BRIT, just reach out to us through the social and websites.
Thank you so much, Max. All the best to you.
And to you guys. Thank you for having me.
But this show is not over for you guys. We still need to flash through the news to get you up to date. The wait for the real-life season of F1 just got a little more manageable. The virtual GP returns to bring the fans the same excitement and hilarious moments as last year. 3 events on consecutive weekends are planned. January 31st will mark the first event, while February 7th and February 14th will hold another 2. With the excitement the first virtual GP sparked among the fans, it is only natural to have some fine-tuning done to the system. Last time out, the drivers did a one-shot qualifying and a 50% race, but now the real racers will have the opportunity to show their prowess. A race day will start with a sprint race, which includes only sim racers. The position they secure will determine the grid position for their respective celebrity teammates. And there was another announcement in the past week. The video game developer Polyphony Digital has confirmed the return of the FIA GT Championship Series for 2021. The company behind the Gran Turismo franchise posted a short announcement on their homepage on Sunday. The 2021 edition will be the fourth installment of the Gran Turismo World Cup and is played on the most recent title of the franchise, GT Sport. Competitors have the chance to earn points in two categories of the tournament again, the Nations Cup and the Manufacturer Series. After some announcements for new championships, let's jump into one that is already underway. The second round of the 2021 Porsche Tag Heuer Esports Super Cup, where viewers were treated to extremely entertaining race segments. Do you want to hear an insane statistic? Prior to this round, Joshua K. Rogers clinched 18 out of 21 pole positions in the two previous seasons. And now you can add another one to that. Rogers and Coanda SimSport teammate Mitchell de Jong were head and shoulders above everyone when they took pole and second place. Neither of them could be beaten in the sprint race as Josh took a start to finish victory. A great effort from last year's champion Sebastian Job took him to 8th place after seemingly botching the qualifying and starting in 16th. He therefore secured pole position in the feature race because of the reverse grid. There we saw another straight victory with a measured and controlled drive from Red Bull's Sebastian Job. Last but not least, the deal between EA and Codemasters has been given the green light. The shuffle around the future of Codemasters seems over as big gaming studio Take-Two apparently removed their offer from the table. This sets up EA as the only candidate financially sound enough to buy the studio for a whopping $1.2 billion. Well, now it is on me to say goodbye to you guys. If you are still in your sim racing zone, then go visit our stream team member Hoki Hoshi, who will start his session soon, around 9 p.m. Central European time to be precise. And also make sure to visit overtake.gg for our virtual racers with Disabilities Week. But this Nitro Nights episode is over, so have a good night and buckle up, of course.